Hello, welcome back to the Ron's Personal Fitness YouTube channel. We appreciate you finding us. Today we're going to continue our discussion on chest exercises, specifically exercises for the pectoralis muscles. But instead of utilizing machines or barbells today, we're going to shift our focus to dumbbells. You see, in my opinion, dumbbells are the best piece of equipment that you can have in your gym. In fact, if you have a home gym and you're limited on space, rather than take up a bunch of space with machines and large barbells, you're more efficient if you utilize dumbbells. In fact, with today's selectorized or adjustable dumbbells, you can fit what the equivalent of an entire rack of dumbbells in a very, very small space. Utilizing those dumbbells is important because it targets our stabilizing muscles or allows them to participate in the exercise that otherwise would not be utilized. You see, when we utilize machines in particular, we hardly ever stimulate the stabilizing muscles. We're locked into the plane of movement forced onto us by that machine. Now, barbells do utilize more stabilization, but not nearly the stabilization of the dumbbells. You see, when both of your hands are locked together with a common bar, some of that stabilizing is shared by both sides. When we're in dumbbells, which are totally independent of one another, that stabilization is paramount. In fact, you'll be twice as sore utilizing dumbbells just because of the activation of more muscle. Now, of course, you won't be able to use as much weight. In fact, if you can lift 100-pound dumbbells, you can probably bench twice or three times that amount. So it's not unusual to have to really cut down on your weights and use the appropriate weight for that exercise. Don't get hung up on the numbers. All right? Now, today we're going to focus on presses and flies utilizing the dumbbells. And one thing that you'll notice, and when we get into the movements themselves, that there is a safe way to get on the bench with the dumbbells. There's a safe way to get off the bench, and we're going to demonstrate those along the way too. What you don't want to do, especially in my gym, I do not have rubberized flooring. So the last thing I want to do is just drop the weights and let them go crashing down and leaving big dents in my floor. If your gym does have the commercial rubberized coating to the floor, don't think that that is a open invitation to drop the dumbbells. It's not good for the dumbbells, and it's certainly not safe, as dumbbells with that much energy built up, when they hit those rubberized floors, can fly up or bounce around and actually catch people in the ankles and feet. So you don't want to just drop the weights. If you cannot safely control the weight all the way back to a seated or standing position, the weight is still too heavy for that exercise. Now, if you have a workout partner that's willing to help you, that's a different story. But don't be that guy that finishes a set screaming and yelling and drops the weight on the floor. It just isn't necessary. Okay? So let's get into today's exercises, shall we?
All right, as we're on the bench, we keep a nice tight position as we go down. We want to maintain control of the dumbbells at all time. As we press them, we're going to breathe out on the way up, in on the way down. Notice that we're not slamming them together at the top. We're maintaining control of those dumbbells. Because of the added range of motion potential at the bottom, we want to be careful we don't overstress those shoulders. So we're maintaining good control at all times. Now here the dumbbell's way too low. Oh boy, lift our head. The dumbbell can really slam back on us. We don't want that. So we want to maintain control. Bounce, no. See the energy imparted in these? These are rubber coated, so there's even more energy than if they were just metal. So we don't want to do that. If we're out of control, it just means the weight is too heavy. Now here's another variation that the dumbbells allow that a barbell doesn't. We can do unilateral or independent limb movements controlling the weight. Now the resting arm is resting in a locked position, so that muscle is under tension. That is not resting. That is doubling the workload. You are holding one in a static hold and contracting the other in movement. Now, dumbbells also afford rotation. So I'm going to rotate the dumbbell on the way down and allow those muscles to activate in a little different plane of movement. And I can do that in two different rotations. So I'm going to start at the top rotating out this time instead of rotating in. And those simple variations just allow us to target more and more muscle fibers and keep the body from stagnating or getting used to a movement. Any variation that we can do over time will help. Notice coming up, I bring my knees up. The dumbbells actually help me sit up. That's very helpful if you're using heavy, heavy dumbbells. Our next movement is now on an incline. So as I lean back, the weight is close to me, but I only go back so far because of the bench. And I'm going to target the upper chest. So I am focusing my mind muscle connection on the upper inner chest. And as I squeeze at the top of this motion, I'm going to feel it more along the sternum and the clavicle than I am anywhere else. So that is my focus. It's the same. Breathe in on the way down and out on the way up, accelerating the weight and under control. Again, great unilateral movement, allowing us the opportunity to keep one muscle in constant tension while the other is going through a range of motion. This helps with muscle recruitment. Remember those guys sitting on the bench of the football game? We're bringing them into the game here. Again, rotation, even in the incline, very, very beneficial, and we do have both rotations available to us, rotating up and in or in and out as we go. You'll see to get a big stretch, I do lift my head off the bench. Don't do this if you have bad shoulders. Maintain your head down if you have bad shoulders. Coming up, nice and controlled. And always rack your weights, by the way. All right, we're now in a decline, so we're going to hook our feet so we don't slide down the bench due to gravity, keeping that weight close, engaging the abs, and locking it out. That's our beginning position. We're going to maintain good form here. As you'll see in a minute, once we start to do unilateral movements, the stabilization on the bench is much harder. You'll see that muscles are engaging and working to keep me stable, because it does make you feel like you're going to want to fall off. So you can see there's a little bit of a quiver there. That's just all those muscles activating that haven't been activated up to this point. Right there, maintaining control. We have our rotation and the decline. The focus of the decline is the lower chest. So I want to feel the lower sweep of the pecs in both rotations. Right there. Now this is a alternating movement where I don't rotate, but I keep a palms opposed, and then I keep my palms out. That's another variation that dumbbells afford us. You could do that in all three positions here. Now we're moving on to the fly action. Now the fly is very good for the outer part of the chest, right there on the stretch, and then as you come in, you really squeeze down the sternum and feel those muscles coming together. This is the other function of the chest muscles, is to bring things to the midline or to medialize something. So as I'm squeezing, notice that my elbows are not straight here. I'm not flaring the weight way out. I'm maintaining a bend to the elbow like I'm hugging a barrel or hugging a tree. It's that position that will make it safe. This will not make it safe. Choppy movements, no range of motion, bouncing at the top, those are all recipes for disaster. Let's not see those in the gym, okay? Now we'll move to an incline position. Now because the bench is up a little higher, I don't really get the momentum going back, so I'm going to use my knees to pitch that weight up to the position that I want. I get up to the top, stabilize, rotate, and out on the fly. Now this is a more conventional grip here with the palms opposed to one another, and that's just fine for getting a stretch. If you have shoulders that will tolerate it, we're going to try one in a second where we rotate the hands outward, or the palms outward, so that they're facing forward. When we do that, we put an extreme stretch on the chest right here. We're coming out, we maintain the palms forward position, and oh boy, that stretch is incredible. But again, don't do this if you have bad shoulders. Don't do this with heavy weight or you will get bad shoulders. You're going to maintain a lighter weight, feeling the stretch, feeling individual fibers just firing right across the chest, and that's how you know that you're targeting them properly. If you feel this in your elbows or your biceps, you're not doing the movement correctly. Keep the weight tight, slide it down, and there you can sit up. Our center of gravity will help us get up there. Now on the decline fly, there's not much difference. We lock it in, we maintain control. We're going to breathe in on the way down and squeeze out. Our focus is the lower part of the chest. I'm going to squeeze and feel those pecs come together. I can use a little more weight in a decline position. I'm a little bit stronger. And I'm going to take advantage of that from time to time by loading up on my declines. If you're already kind of droopy in the chest, or you have, kind of a heavy lower chest, well, then you want to move your movements up. This is no way to activate the lower chest. Again, bouncing, choppy movements are recipes for disaster and injury, and we want to prevent that at all costs.
And there you have it, an entire routine stressing the pectoralis muscles in the upper, middle, and lower aspects of those muscles, utilizing nothing but dumbbells. And with so many different varieties and ways of holding the dumbbells and turning them and focusing on different parts of the exercise, you should never get bored. In fact, one thing that you want to do when you're choosing exercises for your routine is pick one flat, one incline, one decline. Pick a body weight exercise like push-ups or dips that'll be coming in upcoming videos. Pick a dumbbell movement, certainly. Pick a machine movement. Pick a cable movement, and so on. All of this variety attacks those muscles from every possible angle, and if we do it correctly, won't leave anything out. Now, one thing that you want to do is realize that because of the lack of stabilization, in fact, we are the stabilization for dumbbell movements, that safety is paramount. And we're going to stress again the proper ways of getting up and down off of the bench when we're demonstrating all these exercises. You'll notice that keeping the dumbbells close is safer than keeping them farther away as I go to get off the bench. All right, and please, if you like this video and the information contained inside here, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, that helps us in the rankings, and hit that bell, hit that notification bell, and that will tell you every time that a new video is posted. So it's with your support that this channel will continue to grow, and we're going to get more and more information out to you as we come. In the next video, we're going to talk about more variations of the fly, and we're going to talk about different machines and cables that you can utilize there, and then we'll get into things like push-up variations and so on. So stay tuned. There's a lot of fun stuff coming up, and it's stuff that you can do even at home. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video.